Okay, today we're going to talk about practical skills and how we have learned them and how essential they are in our life. And I want to ask you a question, Julia. What practical skills do you have?
Okay, so one of my practical skills that I find the most important is learning new languages. And I became interested in new languages after traveling around the world and visiting many different countries, where I noticed that in able to interact with other people, you have to know their language. And yeah, well, many people know English, but however, some do not. And you have to know their language and able to say something to them. And the person that helped me the most with this was my mom, because she was the one that motivated me to do this by taking me on all her trips. And she's also the one that assigned me up to like different schools, different courses. Where, for example, when I was 5, she assigned me to learning English, and I want to thank her for like me being able to speak English. Because if I learned when I was older, for example, 13, I maybe would not be able to speak at the same level. And yeah, I practice by going to these courses every week or twice a week, where teachers gave me different exercises. And I also watched a lot of movies, like in different languages, in order to get familiar with the language. And there were many times where I wanted to give up. I thought that learning grammar was very boring. I didn't want to go to lessons. However, I thought about the positive aspects of actually going to lessons, and that motivated me. I want to learn new languages and be able to communicate with other people. And I'm thankful for being able to speak English, Swedish, and Polish. I'm currently learning French, and I hope I will be able to speak many more, because that opens the gates for the future. So, Said, what are your skills?
One of my practical skills is how to use a computer, and computer skills is very essential for everyone to know. How it started that I became interested of computer skill, it was first that my father bought my first computer, and I started discovering new things, and my brother actually taught me how to search stuff on internet, and yeah, I could learn basically everything and get access to all information on internet. And learning computer skill didn't really have up and downs. It was mostly ups because it was very interesting to learn, and new information all the time.
You said about the computer skills. I think that it's very important in life because it can help you find more jobs.
Yep.
If you write that you're good at programming on your CV, it's a higher risk that the company will hire you. And the same thing applies for languages. If you know 4 or 5 languages, it's a high risk that a company will hire you.
Exactly. Computer skill is very essential to know in this world now, in IT age. For example, whatever you want to do, you need to use a computer and you need to use internet for that reason.
Searching information.
Exactly.
Yeah. But what do you think is more important, computer skills or learning new languages?
Well, I do believe both are very important, but in different areas, I would say. For example, computer skill in future, I believe, is much more important. Like everything that we do is connected to computer in a way or another way. So I do believe computer skills. What do you think?
I think that, like you said, it depends on different areas. For example, a salesman will have to know more languages than to actually program. He or she will have to know the language that you use in the country that he or she lives in, as well as English. But computer programming can be more helpful if you own a company, an IT company, or a company that sells things, where you have to register all the outputs and stuff
Exactly, like it can help in your profession as well, and at the same time in your daily life. Like if you need information about something, you can just search it on internet and use a simple device that we know it's simple, but it's quite complex, a computer.
Yeah, but the negative aspects of computer skills is that you can communicate with the rest of the world, but languages are much more helpful because if I want to speak to someone living in India or Vietnam, it's better for me to know the language that they use in that country than to just be able to speak Swedish and know how to program.
At the same time, you are using computer to be able to communicate with that part of the world.
Yeah,
So,
if they live far away, yeah.
yeah, like language and computer skills, they are like both. They have the same importance
Yeah,
in
and
our
they
life.
quite often also go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you could use a translate program, for example, Google Translate, to be able to say something. However, that will not always be 100% correctly because that program makes some grammatical mistakes. But you
still
could
can-
use. So
you
I
can-
think, like you said, it depends on different areas. Both skills are important, and maybe computer programming is more important for someone that works in that area,
Yeah.
whilst learning new languages is much more important to someone who sells stuff,
Exactly.
writes articles. So yeah,
both
I
are
think
very
it
essential.
depends. Yeah.
And very good too.
Okay, but besides concrete practical skills, there are also abstract skills which you need to learn and which are good to have in life. And we have chosen to talk about cooperating with people and having responsibility. So,
Exactly.
Said, why is cooperating with people important in life?
Well, I do believe cooperating with people is very important in life. For example, if you are later in life, if you are working in a company and you need to solve a problem and you need to do a project with other people, you really need to have this skill to cooperate with people. Everyone is individual and have different opinions, so you need to have the ability and the skill to cooperate with other people.
Yeah, because if you're just on your own, you won't really achieve something. If you take
Exactly.
a look at the biggest companies, they all work together. It's not just one person who has built this entire empire. It's many different people who are good in many different areas that work
Exactly.
together.
And at the same time, for these companies to work well, every individual has to take responsibility,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's very important as well.
Yeah, because if you don't take responsibility, things will go wrong. If you just think, oh, everything will go fine, I don't have to do anything, things
Exactly.
are not going to develop. They're going to stay the same or get even worse.
Yeah, we can say that that's abstract skill that we need to learn, and we need to have it as well.
Yeah, but do you think you learn these skills when you're very young, or that you can learn them later on?
Like we're not born with these skills.
Yeah.
We are learning it from the environment, from when we are in school, we are doing tasks together with other students, and we learn how to cooperate with other people and take responsibilities.
Yeah, I think that the environment and who you're living in, how the people around you are behaving, influences you. If people are taking responsibility around you and are cooperating with each other, you will try to do the same because you see that it works. And I also think that your parents, teachers should give you some responsibility in order for you to be able to learn by your own mistakes. If you don't take the responsibility, and then you can see what happens if you don't, and hopefully learn from that.
Exactly.
But how do you think that these skills could be meaningful in social life and the whole society?
Well, both of them are, as we said before, they are very important. If you are not taking responsibility, the society will not work as it should.
Yeah, it will not
Yeah,
develop.
it will not develop. If you're not cooperating with other people, we will not have a society that actually works well and It's not.
Yeah, I think it would look like we looked 1,000 years ago, or
Yeah.
it will not simply
We
develop.
basically we made this society and we created a society to live in,
Together by taking
cooperating
yeah.
and taking responsibilities.
So in conclusion, we think that there are very many important choices in life, and they all involve many different important skills. For example, cooperating, taking responsibility, and these skills are helpful in many areas. And if you incorporate these skills, you will achieve the most. Without the skills, the world will not look like it looks today, because an individual can't achieve something on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.